Joining us on the broadcast this evening is Mr. Ramasamy. Ramasamy is the Deputy Chief Minister of Penang District in Malaysia, someone who's been fighting Zakir Naik very closely and for many years now. Mr. Ramasamy, congratulations on your first big victory against Zakir Naik.
Well, thank you. But let's see what will happen to Zakir Naik. You know, I have been fighting Zakir Naik for the past 3 years, since he came into the country in 2015, where the Malaysian government then gave him a permanent residentship. And from then on, he has been making all kinds of accusations and also promoting disharmony and discord among Malaysians of different religions and different races. Now, I think what happened recently in the state of Kelantan, he was told to address a big crowd, and in that crowd, he accused the Hindus in Malaysia of being loyal to BJP and Modi. In India, he also said that the Hindus in Malaysia have more than 100% rights compared to the Muslims in India.
Yes.
And he went also one step further. He questioned the loyalty of the Chinese and told the Chinese they should leave Malaysia before anybody could ask him to leave. Now, this is really too much. We never expected this come from a fugitive, from a person from running away from the long arm of the Indian legal system. And I think clearly he has overstayed his welcome. He has started interfering into the Malaysian domestic politics. We didn't expect him. He wanted to talk about Islam, that's fine, but he should not actually touch on Malaysian politics, especially because it is something very sensitive. Now I think even though the Malaysian government, under the new coalition, actually said, okay, we are not going to send back Zakir Naik to India because he might not get justice. But now I think there's a change of mind. As it is, most of the states in Malaysia, the entry of Zakir Naik, he cannot give any more lectures.
Mr.
At the same time, the police started the investigation, and we are yet to know what is the findings of the police. I think the Malaysian Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, is quite annoyed with Zakir Naik. He says Zakir Naik is interfering with the Malaysian politics.
Mr. Ramasamy, can you hear me, sir?
Cabinet meeting. Yes.
I want to interrupt you and ask a question because you mentioned a sentence that there is a change of heart in Malaysia. And you said that the change of heart is on the point that the government once felt that if he's sent back to India, he may not face a fair trial, which is what he's been alleging. Now, I want to ask you, because I know that several ministers, at least 5 or 6 of them, and trust us, here in India, we're following this story very closely, because if there is one channel that has been following Zakir Naik, even before he left India, that is our team. We've been tracking him. And we know that 5 or 6 ministers are pursuing him and have met the Prime Minister. But are you suggesting that there is a change of heart as far as deporting him to India is concerned?
Well, certainly, I think you're right. Certainly, I think there is a change of perspective insofar as Zakir Naik is concerned. You know, before his speech in the state of Kelantan, I mean, there are a lot of accusations. The accusations are coming from within Malaysia. The accusations have come from India. India wants to extradite him back to face charges. But, you know, what was the cause? Because his recent speech in Kelantan, hosted by the opposition parties, especially the party Islam Malaysia, he went overboard when he started questioning Hindus, the loyalty of Hindus in this country. He started questioning the Chinese, asking them to leave. Now, that was too much. And I think the Prime Minister felt perhaps, I think he has actually overstayed his welcome. And there was the police investigation, and he has been called for a number of hours for interrogation. And I think we are not very sure what kind of action would befall on Zakir Naik, whether he will be deported to India, or whether he will be told voluntarily to go to India, or whether he could find a sanctuary in some other country. We are not sure. I think we need to watch tomorrow's cabinet meeting, whether there's a decision will be made on Zakir Naik. But I think, notwithstanding that, a number of states in Malaysia have banned the entry of Naik. Naik cannot go into these states to give his lectures, especially on comparative religion. This whole idea of comparative religion has been abused by Zakir Naik. comparative religion for Zakir Naik is basically punching back against the non-Muslim faith.
Yes. So, one short question.
Yeah.
I know that you also have personally been, talking to the Prime Minister and his office and the entire establishment. Will you now push for him to be deported to India? Is the Prime Minister open to that? And is there a change of heart? Because we know that a minister,
we are not
a
sure
senior minister was in New Delhi
anyway.
recently. Yeah, a senior minister was in New Delhi recently. So is there a change of heart?
No, I'm not sure whether they're going to deport him or whether they're going to take some other action or whether they're going to actually prosecute him here under the Malaysian law. But I think one thing is clear. My opinion is Zakir Naik should be extradited to India because India wants him to face charges.
Yes.
Now, I am very clear on that because even if he's not extradited, I'm not sure. No, I think he has to face some penalty. I think the best should be to send him to India because he's the one saying that the Muslims constitute the second largest.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that the Muslims in India, the second largest Muslim population in India after Indonesia.
Yeah.
He says the Muslims are discriminated by the Hindus, and he feels that he's a champion for not only for Indian Muslims, but the global Muslim. And I think if he is a champion of Muslims, don't you think he should be in India fighting for the Muslim cause rather than running away to Malaysia?
Now, I don't know whether you've been following his interviews because he rarely gives interviews. He gives it to very select media, especially in Malaysia. But there was one comment that he made. One comment that he made that if it was any other government, he would return to India. It's not about the government. It's about the judicial system, which is the same, which is fair, irrespective of which government comes in or goes out. Mr. Ramaswamy,
he's talking about getting a Supreme Court guarantee.
Yes.
Which country the Supreme Court can give a guarantee to a fugitive?
Yes.
And then he said, it's because if it's Congress government, he would go back. But unfortunately, it's not Congress government, it's BJP.
Yeah.
Now, whether BJP is in power, whether Congress is in power, the point is the legal system is the same. And the legal system enjoys considerable autonomy from the legislative and the executive arm. He knows that, but I think he's sidestepping the larger issue that he doesn't want to go to India because I think he has done something wrong and he's hiding from the Malaysian public.
Well, something is changing, and let's hope that it all leads up to the extradition of Zakir Naik from Malaysia. And we hope that he's brought back and he faces the law here, Mr. Ramaswamy.
And I think if he says he's innocent, all these things have been actually all things filed against him because of the Hindutva government and everything. But let him go to India and clear his name, and if he's innocent, come back.
Yeah, we have a jail cell ready for him, Mr. Ramaswamy. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you sustain this battle against Zakir Naik.
Yeah, it's not just a battle against Zakir Naik alone. It's a battle against these, tricksters and fraudsters coming into the country, whipping up
troublemongers,
hatred, animosity among different races. He has no place in Malaysia. He has no place in any civilized world. I don't know which country will take him. Saudi Arabia is not willing to take him.
They're not going to take him.
Muslim countries are not willing to take him.
Yeah.
Seriously, nothing wrong with this country. There's something wrong with him, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Ramaswamy. Thank you for speaking to Republic TV this evening. We'll be in touch with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.